on the task at hand, and that's to try and win games to prepare for conference play.
They were selected second in the preseason of the SoCon as the tap controlled by the Yellow Jackets. As you'll find, Georgia Tech denies the offensive board there. Minute gone by, still no score. Swartz, another three, and this time it drops.
And that's what Georgia Tech needs to do.
I'm sure the scouting report was a little more detailed for Cameron Swartz than the average. It is slingshotted across to Jackson, trying to find her touch from three, and she knocks it down. And the tap controlled by the Jackets. Furman, by the way, 5th in the nation in offensive rebounds per game. They pound the glass as Jackson drops in the mid-range. Yeah, that was front and center in Nell Fortner's scouting report. Alden sends up James for three, and that's pure.
Well, for Furman, they need to crash the boards. They lead, or one of the top teams in the nation with offensive boards. They're very tough. They need to limit baseline drives for Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech, that's their bread and butter to try and open up and get baskets in the paint. And for Georgia Tech, they need to work in concert to box out. So far, doing a great job in this game.
Oh, James finds a seam, rolls it in.
And that was a great move by Sydney James.
Rebound claimed by the Jackets. Quick entry. It's Blackshear with the left hand.
And I like that.
That's something Nell Fortner told us when we talked with her yesterday. Caleb Blackshear exceptionally light on her feet. The step back by accuracy swishes it over Swartz.
She is, and that looked good. A nice little jump shot. Get her going in this game.
Swartz answers right back over the top of her. Already one of the highest scoring first quarters of the season for Nell Fortner's club. Pass was batted by Dunn, recovered by Morgan, ahead to Dunn. Beautifully done. Almost had a backcourt violation on the inbound there. Oh, great steal by Dunn. Off the dish from Hermosa.
I just love how you see bodies for Georgia Tech just fly into the basket for rebounds. They are intentional on crashing and crashing hard.
A lot of physicality. Hermosa tied up, still gets it through and in.
Right now, Georgia Tech has done a great job with this zone matchup or switching on screens and just playing solid defense just like that in the paint.
And Hermosa smothering Van Rye.
Like shouts that she used to do when she got a block.
Quick high-low, Hermosa, extra pass, Carter, grinding away on Van Rye, and she lays it in.
It's a nice pass. You know, Hermosa's a capable passer. Once she gets touches, she's going to make the right decision.
Van Rye, top catch, switches sides and lays it in.
They've needed it, especially with this group this season.
It's almost an accidental addition. Skip to a wide open Dunn, and she rattles down the three.
I mean, I just love Kara Dunn's game.
A three, by the way, was only Dunn's third of the year. Ines Noguera with the drive and dish. Here's Jackson with the pull-up, and everything falling for the Jackets. It's an 11-0 start to the quarter for Tech. Ryan gets the step on Swartz, swatted. And a help defense by Blackshear. Shot clock at 3 for the Paladins. Turnover, only Georgia Tech's fourth. Wild shot off the window, doesn't fall by Alden, but it's cleaned up by the Paladins and Ryan. And that has certainly forced some adjustments for the 13th year head coach Jackie Carson. As out of the timeout, Bianca Jackson, pure from deep. Georgia Tech has held Furman at 2 of 15 shooting in the second quarter. Now hounding Alden. Top 12 in the nation in assisted turnover ratio. Tough finish by James with a hand in her face.
Making sure they screen a body, and on that last one, Blackshear didn't really screen off Swartz's defender.
Hermosa with a quick post-up in transition, splits a pair and lays it in. Out to Ryan for three. And the rebound, Blackshear.
And that was a good look for Ryan. She just couldn't knock it down.
Noguera, mid-range pull-up, good. Tonie Morgan in that first half, how about 6 rebounds, 6 assists, and she takes it coast to coast for a chance at a three-point play.
Oh, man, that was a heads-up move.
Alden up ahead to James. Rolling across the lane on Warren Adonas. It's cleaned up by Van Rye.
And Van Rye was just in the right position at the right time to get that offensive putback.
Jackets again, coast to coast. This time it's Swartz with the finish.
Swartz gets to the basket with the lay-in, and now wide open again for Van Rye. Bad transition defense for Georgia Tech.
Jack has been in command throughout. Swartz darting to the foul line and knocks it down.
That was a great job.
Swartz on the handle against Session. Jackson knocks it down. Jackson's had the hot hand. Explodes past her man. Drops it off for Hermosa, but she short arms it. Oh, but it's pulled away by Love. She had thought, but a double-digit score a season ago. She will still have a lot of value for the Yellow Jackets as they roll through ACC play. Nice runner inside the paint by Alton. The reversal to Session. Shot clock at 5. James with a foot on the line, no good. Offensive rebound, and the reverse falls by Agger. Scored and won. Worth another look. 4:30 third quarter. Back after this. One of my favorite quotes of the year was uttered by Jackie Carson when we caught up with her yesterday. Of course, a prolific rebounder in her day at Furman. That will also endear you to Coach Carson. The steal by Acker, and is stripped right back. A scramble for it. And it trickles free to the Jackets. And now a 2-on-1. Jackson with Won't-Out-On-Oz running. Give and go. Won't-Out-On-Oz to Jackson.
Tough teams in competition in ACC play.
Defending in the post on Whitaker. Blocks her once. Can't the second time. And Kate Whitaker with a chance for a three-point play.
She's able to corral the block shot and get it back. And goes up strong with the finish.
Blackshear down the baseline, got blocked. Noeto lines it up, knocks it down.
She takes good shots.
When you're facing a ferocious defensive team like Georgia Tech, is that pass intercepted by Kalia. Shovels to Session for the lane. Georgia Tech had to say goodbye to Lorella Kubai, a two-time ACC Defensive Player of the Year. And there's 2 more for Bianca Jackson, up to 21 points. A very razor-wired plays for opponents.
They do. And they play good team defense. They know how to shift, rotate. They still switch on screens. A nice hit. Continues to grow and feel comfortable within this offense. She's going to just continue to get better.
Harrison sledgehammered away under the basket. And the first bucket for Carmen Harrison.
You can find ways to get an easy look or finish at the basket, but I just like her defensive play and her rebounding.
She got a piece of that pull-up from James, but the reverse drops in.
And defend her well.
She will have a lot of good nights in her still young Furman career. And there is that pull-up we were talking about from Tonie Morgan.
Teams will sag off of her because they're not going to hold her to be able to consistently knock down that three-point shot.
Kalia right over Morgan. Just getting started in the ACC. And it's going to be top-heavy, but, you know, the strength of conferences is so much made in the middle, and that's where it's going to be really exciting. Inside of 2 minutes. Boswell pulls the trigger again.
That shot is
led by 21 from Bianca Jackson, 11 from Cam Swartz. The rebound and the run out Morgan. She's got Noeto. She will take it in with one hand and one. Wow.
That's that athleticism.
Foul as much. They got back in defensive transition that made the right reads on offense. And I think Georgia Tech checked all of those boxes fairly well. Nice lay-in by Kawila. And that'll do it. Jackets double up the Paladins. A season-high 82 points for Nell Fortner's team.